loving friends, how's it going? It's been another week, so that means we have a week's worth of new makeup releases to talk about. And as always, there's 5 million to talk about. It is a bit ridiculous at this point. With me, I have beautiful Callie and Sarah. You know the drill. I'm putting their linkages down below. That sounds a bit wrong, but you know. They are my fabulous patrons, and I do appreciate their general existence in my life. We have a few kind of little general announcements to get into before we get into the meat and potatoes. So we had talked about before that it looked like Marc Jacobs was going because they were being pulled out of Sephora, but it seems that isn't necessarily the case. It seems that Marc Jacobs have discontinued their relationship with Kendo, who have been the ones making Marc Jacobs. So now they're like fishing around to get someone else to do their stuff. So interesting. I wonder if that means there's going to be formula changes, etc. Interesting times. And then Sarah was telling me, or different Sarah, Sarah L. Different Sarah, said that she saw on a Jen Loves reviews video that Sephora has moved out of JCPenney stores and that the empty spaces that were Sephora are going to be replaced with Black-owned brands.
Good. Like it.
This other thing is something that I noticed during the week. So I put down in my description box where I get, the images, etc. from. And one of the Instagram accounts that I get information from is Indie Makeup Hotspot. They're great. They have like so much information there. And during the week, they put up a picture from a particular brand. I believe it was Seductive Lashes. Could be wrong. Don't quote me. And it bore a striking similarity to the Colourpop Whatever palette, and the backlash was bananas on Indie Makeup Hotspot when she was literally just going, here is what is released. That is what that account is. It's here's new stuff. They don't make the things. They don't produce the things. They're not even kind of going, oh my God, you should definitely go and get it. But she got a lot of hate. She actually had to disable comments at one point. Like, it was pretty vile. Lads, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not nice when people copy things or whatever, but at the end of the day, it's just bloody makeup. Don't start bullying people or harassing people online. You don't know where they've come from or you don't know their story. You coming into their inboxes and being a dick, it could be very damaging. So yeah. I felt so bad, and just do give their account a follow because they are really good and have fantastic information. I do enjoy it. But that does mean we're on to the bit where I have people to thank. So I got tagged loads this week. So I want to say a big thank you to Brianna, Ali, Gillian, Becky, Missa, Sophie, Jade, Gina, Cheryl, Cecily, Shanna, Daniela, Rebecca, Amy, Manuela T, Franca, Pi, Pidonia, Jade W, Susie, Jade S, Lois, Louise, Missy, Chrissy, Kylie, Beth, Nisha, Gaia, Kat, Emily Brogan, Chris, Paula, Tony, Haley, Katie, Amina, Tia, Sue, Christina, Heidi, Hagar, Rhiannon, Charlotte H, Sarah L, Manuela A, Matty, Natalia, Kirsty, Letty, Jasmine, Dawn, Annie, and Cairo. I've never had so many people tag me, and I'm massively...
I feel like I want to congratulate you just for getting through it.
I'm not stumbling over the names, because normally I kind of go, and I have to cut it out, so... Yay me. As per usual, a big thank you to my Patreons, 2 of whom are here today, because I did put into the chat, I was like, does anyone want to join me today? And these 2 lovely ladies stepped forward. Also, a big happy birthday to Kimberly and Shalina.
Happy birthday.
Another 365 days of consecutive living. Well, maybe not living. That's very presumptuous of me. Existing? Surviving?
Yeah.
Being alive.
Yeah. So this week our theme is alternative fairy tales. And I have, of course, also gotten some pictures in from my other Patreons, so you get to see them now. A very talented bunch. It's upsetting, but there you go. Anyways, let's get straight on into it. So the first thing that we're talking about is the always revolutionary See what I did there? XX Revolution. And I swear, like, I just looked at this and thought, have we not already seen this? Also, 2 orange big pans that are exactly the effing same. What is going on over there? This is their kombucha collection. And I love that when I went on to Revolution, it was already marked down in price, even though it had just been released. So the palette was...
They have faith.
Yeah, they're like, oh no, this is clearly a mistake. They brought the palette from £20 down to £16.
We've done warm tones in and out. Like, what's new? Like, you've got to a point with Revolution where you can probably pick all the shades out of new palettes from old palettes. It just feels like it's been regurgitated. And like the warm tone has already been and gone. And yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, I also think, you know, when they came out a year ago, they came out with the X Extravaganza, and it obviously has that layout, and it's like, but you don't have to do that layout for every single palette that you're coming out with as a brand. You can come out with smaller ones, so you don't have to come out with like a, whatever, is it 40 pan, or I don't know how many shades are in that. I mean, there's literally only so many shades of orange here, and yet they've duped themselves I don't know how many times.
There's like 4 or 5 browns in there that are all exactly the same as well, so just make it smaller. But it's like, it reminds me, like one corner of it reminds me of the you know, the Soph mini palette that she brought
definitely
out. So go and buy that, because it's a bit less unwieldy and better edited.
I think as well, there's a time and a place for big pans within palettes. Like, it's been done well, like where there's big pans for transition shades or highlighters. I don't see why those 5 colours need to be big pans for this one. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, because like even with, say, the Be Perfect Scepter palette, I think the good thing that they did there was have the big pan of black and the big pan of white, because that made sense, because you're going to build up a lot more. And they kind of did that as well with the X Extravaganza when that came out initially. They used the colours that would probably be reached in the most for being big pans. But here, there's no logic. And 2 of the oranges in the big pans are the exact same.
Yep.
Like, I mean, they'd be a beautiful blush, don't get me wrong, but that's not what this is.
And what makes it kombucha apart from it being orangey?
That's it.
Yeah, they're like, we couldn't think of anything else.
We couldn't think of anything else. We've used up every other option. I've just been to an Asian health store. I've bought some kombucha. We'll make an eyeshadow palette.
Well done. Well done, George.
Job done.
That's a brilliant idea.
Maybe some of them are fermented. I don't know.
I mean, you never know.
Smelly makeup.
Tasty.
I mean, I will say, because I have their what was it, the Glow Fix spray, I'm trying to use it up. That smelt rank. So maybe they have infused this smell into the palette, allegedly. Who knows? Anyways, when I put it to you guys, you similarly could not understand it, with 82% of you saying, I loathe it. Okay, so this next one, I mean, okay, right. I have many things to say about this, and I need to say it in a nice way and a respectful way. This is Jeffree Star Cosmetics and the Pink Religion collection. So there's an eyeshadow palette, there's a highlighter trio, there's mirrors, you know, the general thing that we would see with him. There's like a setting spray and all of that. Now, when I look at the palette itself, it bears striking similarities to the Blood Sugar and parts of the Bloodlust. So it doesn't feel like it was an essential thing within his collection. Now, I understand him coming out with pink because he does just love that Barbie pink. Like, that seems to be like his aesthetic. So yes, that makes sense. However, if you do like that palette, you can just get the Glam Light Red Cupcake. It's a good alternative and it's cheaper. My problem with this, apart from I don't agree with the morals of Jeffree, but I'm not going to get into that because look, at this point we all know what that is. All of the promo pictures are using symbols and imagery that are quite important within the Catholic faith. Now, I've seen people saying, well, I'm Christian and it doesn't offend me. Christianity is actually different to Catholicism. They're quite different, so you have to separate those things out. I myself was raised Catholic. I practiced Catholicism for 18 years, so for the majority of my life. Most of my family, all of my family members are practicing Catholics. So when I saw this, it didn't sit right with me. I don't think and I said this even in last week's R&R, when I believe it was Foolish Hustle Lashes used the Virgin Mary on their packaging. I was like, no, you can't do this. It's not right. It's just a blanket thing that I don't think religion should be used to sell things. I will also say that we all know the issues around the Catholic Church and the cover-ups, and I'm not going to get into it because I don't want to trigger people. However, my issue is, if people saw this promo and they were getting all excited to see this, what if they themselves have been a survivor of this type of assault? This could potentially bring this all back. And I don't think you can use these things to sensationalize or sell your stuff. Look, we know that Jeffree Star makes really good quality products. I won't argue that. I think they're very good. Let the products speak for themselves. You don't need to have a sensationalist campaign to get people excited. If people like this color story, they're going to go and get it. You didn't need to use religion. Like, it just doesn't sit right with me on a number of levels.
Yeah.
For me, I don't agree. Like, everything you said, I completely agree with. But also, I think that if you've got a good brand, let the product speak for themselves, like you said. The last 3 releases he's done have been sensationalized in some way or another. Like, you had Cremated during the pandemic, you then had the Orgy collection, and now you've got this. Like, it just stinks of desperation to me. Like, I can't sell my products anymore because of some people's perception of me. Therefore, I need to go down this route, and just sit back and have a word with yourself. Like, it's just not right.
It is, like you say, it's just to gain attention, because if his products are good enough, he wouldn't even really need to market them that much, because people, the quality, and as you said, the quality would speak for itself.
Like, I know that a lot of people are saying the imagery, etc., used is also linked to culture, to history, and to art. And that's true. Yeah, they absolutely are. Part of why these things are linked with art is because it was an expression of faith and adoration towards these things. They were venerating God, etc. That's part of why I got committed into art. It got into history because it was important. Anything that is important to people gets retained in history. So I don't think it's as simple as kind of saying, oh well, it's art and it's history, so it's okay to use. It'd be the same. Like, there's just certain things you just don't do, in the same way that you wouldn't put a swastika on a palette, because
Exactly.
it means things to people. These things are actually very weighted. Like I said, I have a lot of people in my life who take their faith very, very seriously, and see their faith kind of being used as a marketing campaign is just very odd and disrespectful. Now, when I put it to you guys, 87% of you decided that it wasn't for you. Then we have One Size. So that is Patrick Starr's brand, and they are coming out with a Turn Up the Base Butter Silk Concealer. There's 24 shades, which, again, it's not about the amount of shades, it's about the shade range. Lots of shade ranges there for the Caucasians. So yeah, I'm catered for, which is so unusual that the Caucasian is catered for, let's be real. $25 each. I have to say I'm quite disappointed, because I would have assumed that, given the fact that Patrick is Filipino-American, that he would understand the importance of having a good shade range.
When you look at the picture, the bottom row, and then basically the first 9 shades from the bottom up, they're all exactly the same.
Yeah.
They probably have slightly different undertones, but
I just think brands always miss the trick when they do this sort of release. Like, the market is flooded and caters for Caucasians really well. Like, you can find something somewhere. Why doesn't a brand just bring out a concealer that's rich, upwards heavy, rather than the other way around the whole time. It's frustrating. And like you said, like when it comes from somebody like Patrick Starr, I was surprised to see this shade range and think, why? Like, how has that happened? But we'll see.
When I put it to you guys, 67% of you said that it wasn't for you. So Milani are then coming out with 2 different blush trio palettes. It seems to be that they have one trio that's a cream and one trio that's a powder. They're $13.99. They, by the way, have like all of these like vitamins, etc. put into them. I think it's a pity that they have one that's cream and one that's powder, and that they don't have an option for all these shades in the different formulas. If I was looking at these and I looked at, say, the darker palette, I might say, oh my gosh, I love the look of that, but I wish that it was in a powder. I don't, by the way, I love cream. You know, the option isn't there. And I mean, there are people for whom cream products just aren't their thing. It may be that they have oily skin and just cream doesn't like want to play with it. So, and me making this kind of gesture on a video is always fun. So I think it is a bit of a pity. It is very affordable if you're in the States, but once it comes over to here, that $13.99 is probably going to be like 20 something euro or something like that. Still relatively affordable, but we don't see Milani as being affordable in the same way that our American counterparts do. That being said, I really like Milani's complexion products. Like, I love their blushes, their highlights. Like, they're some of my like favorites.
I don't understand the release. Like, I understand that they're releasing cream blushes and powder blushes, and these are new products, but it really, really gets my goat when a brand only brings out one product or a few shades. If you're going to bring out a new product, you have to bring out a shade range of that product. And like you said, like the cream is suited for deeper tones, but the powder is more suited for lighter tones. If you're going to commit and bring out a proper shade range. Don't just go, oh, here's one and here's one, and then on the promise that we may bring out more later. Like, you've got to do it properly. And it's 2021. Like, I don't understand these mini releases here, there and everywhere.
When I polled you guys, it was pretty close. 41% of you said that you wanted it and that you loved it, and 59% said pass. So this is Ulta, and we don't get that here, but I got a lot of tags in this. This is their collaboration, I guess, with Gilmore Girls. They have the Girls Gel Liner set, they have a lip crayon set, a makeup brush and sponge set, and a nail set. I can see where bits of this comes into effect. So say, for instance, the pale purple liner, that's the same shade of hair that Lane tried to dye her hair. The pale blue is the shade of dress that Rory wore to the secret Yale Society. So I can kind of see it. That being said, I think this is quite a lackluster collection, but I would never kind of think, oh, Gilmore Girls, I want to see a collection from them. Despite me loving the show, it's not something that I'd be like, oh, I feel like I get a lot of inspiration from it.
Yeah, it's the same with a couple of things that have come out recently, where it just smacks a bit of, we want to release something and we want to put something on it that will catch people's eye. What can we do? Which TV show have we not used yet?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so...
And how can we pick products that we've already released and repackage them to make them exciting again?
Yeah.
It's not like, oh my God, these are awful products and they look terrible. It's just, they're not exciting. They're not something that I'd be like, oh my gosh, I need to get this. How do I get this from the States? Because if I really want something, I will figure it out and I will get it. You know, I have my ways. But this one, no, it just, I do like that the nail polish, the actual packaging has the tartan from Chilton, which is the school that Rory went to, which was a private school, because, you know, she's a fancy girl doing fancy things. So there are kind of like little nods here and there to the show, but it is a bit I mean, I do like, though, I'm looking at like some of the things there, like their lip crayon. They have one of the shades is called Vicious Trollop, which does hark back to the show, because at one point Lorelai is trying to get friendly with her mum, and her mum comments on her lipstick and says, "Oh, that's really nice." And Lorelai says, "Oh yes, it's called Vicious Trollop." And her mum's like, "No, it can't possibly be called that." So I get that there's some like little hints, or even in the pilot episode, Rory is getting ready to go to Chilton and her mum is painting her toenails red. And in the nail polish set, it's called Life is Short, because her mum was kind of saying, "Oh, you know, life is short, we're gonna do XYZ." So there are like little things that kind of make me think there was some thought put into it, but not quite there. And it seems a lot of you guys felt the same, because 91% of you said no, it's not for you. Then we have Musée Beauty, and this is inspired by Rococo collection, and they have the Honore palette and they have the collector's edition Triumph of Venus palette. I mean, if you look at the color stories, they make sense based upon what they're inspired by, because you can see the colors are coming like directly from those paintings. So I think like it's thoughtful in that sense. However, when I look at them, I think particularly the one with the yellow, the green and the blue, I'm kind of like, what would I do with that? Because there's a lot of nudes in there that are quite similar, and then just this pop of yellow, this pop of blue, and this pop of green, and I don't really know what I would do with it.
See, to me, when I look at the cover of the Honore on the left-hand one, I would expect inside to be a majority like grungy blues and greens, and then maybe a peach or like a one yellow or something. But when you open it, it feels like it's just a neutral palette with a pop of blue and a pop of green. And I get the inspiration, but I don't think that it's been properly interpreted. It just doesn't match up to me. It confuses me.
Yeah, I agree. Like that one in particular could have had like some like teals, some like navy shades in there to really, because like, I mean, if you're looking at the picture itself, the majority of it is quite dark. And yes, there is that like pop of pinky peach, and they could have done that, but they made it primarily pinky peachy. And the rest are just like little things that I'm not really sure how they would work together.
It warrants like a gradient of blue, and like where you can create like a midnight sky sort of look with it or something like that. But you can't. Like,
I think this is one of those cases where probably a 9-pan was not big enough to do what it was that they needed to do for this. They could have extended it to say maybe a 12-pan, 16-pan if they're really struggling to edit themselves. I think they over-edited on this, and they've kind
you don't hear that often.
Yeah, I know. Oh my god! I'm just checking. Did a pink eye possibly?
Solution, take notes.
Oh. But like it does kind of feel like maybe they were like a little bit too brutal in terms of kind of cutting shades off. I can see the inspiration, but there are elements missing. And then when I polled you guys, 73% of you said that it wasn't for you. This next one, I got tagged in this a lot, and it was partly for R&R, but I think partly because you guys know me to a frightening extent. This is Sugar Drizzle Polish's Taco Kitty eyeshadow palette. That's right. There is a cat on the front holding a taco standing on a pizza. And who knew that that was exactly what we needed? And it's a fully duochrome palette, and they have funny names like Pizza Kitty and Taco Cat and Pew Pew, which honestly is like pew pew. I want to do a review so I can just go pew pew. This is one of those things that I look at the palette itself, I'm not really that bothered about, the shades. I'm kind of, oh, okay, it's a duochrome palette, whatever, we've seen 5 million of them. The bloody packaging has me, like, and the names, and I'm like, Treat, don't buy things because there's a cat on the front standing on a slice of pizza. How many times do you fall for such things? But I kind of love it, like, is it necessary? Do I need it? Absolutely not. But I don't hate it either.
I think as well, when you look at the palette on the inside and then you look at the swatches look so much more beautiful than the pans themselves. Because I was scrolling through the document going, I don't really get it. And then I saw the swatches and I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty.
Yeah.
But then again, it's duochrome. Like, how much duochrome can you have? It's the same. It's the running theme at the minute, isn't it?
Yeah, 2021 is sadness and duochrome. Do I need it? No. Do I like that there's a cat in the front? Yes. Do I need more duochromes? Absolutely not. I have a lovely one here that I have yet to review, but I have been playing with it. So it depends on the price, because I haven't found information on the price, because it's coming out on the 31st of July. So Saturday, as this is going up. I mean, if I'm sure I could probably justify it. I can't buy something just because it says Pew Pew as one of the shade names.
I mean, you
Surely,
can.
I mean, we can enable you. Like we can give you the excuse if you really, really need us to.
To be honest, when I was flicking through your stories when you were doing your polls, and I saw the palette, and I saw that you'd written that it had a cat on the front, and I went, well, you know, I'm a dog person, not a cat person. So this is the first time I've seen the cover of it, and I want it because there's a cat standing on a slice of pizza, holding a taco. You know, so I want it now. But also, I did think that technically you have how many cats now?
6. Half a dozen.
You could order a takeaway pizza and make one of your cats stand on a slice and recreate it, and then you wouldn't need to buy the palette because you already have lots of duochromes. So you could like swatch them whilst one of your cats stands on a pizza.
I feel like the cat who is most likely to do that would be Darcy.
Do it.
If I can get like a slice of ham, put it on the floor, and then also a pizza slice. Although if there's any meat or whatever on the pizza, he will also try to eat that because he's just ridiculous. He's like, food. Yeah, don't need it, but kind of love just the packaging. And when I put it to you guys, again, you are my people and I understand you. 66% of you said, it must be mine. Sydney Grace Cosmetics have a whole thing going on at the moment, which is their Christmas in July sale, which is a funny thing. But basically, they are putting a load of their products like on sale. There's like free shipping. For international orders, they said that you could bundle because like every day there's a different sale. Like there's something on their face powders, there's something on their single shadow. So they said that if you end up buying something on day 2, 3, or 4, and then again on day 6, you can just email them and say, hold on, wait, and bundle them all together so you can save on shipping. So I thought that was very smart. So they have quite a few things. They have 2 separate eyeshadow palettes, both quite neutral if we're 100% honest, and then some kind of singles, and then some face powders and some glosses.
The eyeshadow palettes look like Colourpop.
Yeah, I thought it was
Colourpop.
Yeah. The coffee talk one looks like the brown sugar. It's not exciting.
And the pinky one has a pop of blue, a la Colourpop. I mean, I've just bought the Lush Life palette, so I can't really talk, which is a neutral palette with a pop of blue. But you know, we're not talking about me. We're talking about these palettes.
Yeah, I think like the pinky palette, again, I don't really get the color story on that. It's a bit odd. Like I don't understand it, and it seems that a lot of you guys were thinking the same thing because 83% of you said that it wasn't for you either. And then speaking of Colourpop, they had a whole new lippy pencil vault, and they released this essentially on National Lipstick Day. They have the Truth or Bare lippy pencil vault and the Bring the Heat lippy pencil vault. I think this is quite smart to have a vault of, say, all of your red lipsticks, like lip liners, all of your nude lipstick liners. Colourpop do a really nice formula, let's be 100% honest, and they're affordable. So I think this is actually really bloody good. Part of why I didn't get it is I have a stack of lip liners here. I don't need any more, but if I was starting off and, you know, I had no makeup, I would get this. I think it's pretty decent.
I like it when Colourpop does like these vaults, but my one thing is that when you look at the nude ones, you can see like lots of different tones within the pencils themselves, but then you can't see that within the swatches. The swatches don't look like that there's that much variation there. And I don't know whether that's just the picture or because the pencils themselves look, you know, a variety. But yeah, that's the only bit that lets me down a little bit, I think.
Yeah, if Colourpop had a UK stockist, I would probably buy both of these. It's just because they're in America and it's a pain that I won't.
So this was actually quite close when it came to the polls, because 49% of you said that you wanted them and 51% of you said not for me. So I'm wondering if it's a similar thing of like, I'd like it, but it's not readily available. So
Yeah.
if that's the case, I totally understand. This is She Glam. They have a couple of different 12-pan pallets. And apparently $50,000 from the sales will be donated to IFAW, which is an organisation that works on a global scale to rescue and protect animals. And apparently the pallets are packaged in FSC certified recycled materials. So like, that's not bad. Shein, She Glam, etc. They're part of the fast fashion, fast beauty thing. They are more likely, don't come for me, to be contributing to the issues around environmental concerns, habitat loss, etc. And $50,000 really, it's a drop in the ocean. I will also say, Jeff Bezos, get off of your effing rocket, give several billion, and I'm hot. I'm constantly warm, and I'm not good in heat, right? I live in Ireland because I'm meant to live in the cold. Sort it out and stop putting yourself into something that's shaped like a penis. We already know you are that. You don't have to make your transport resemble what you are as a person. Like, sorry. I do think that giving $50,000 isn't quite enough for something like that, or if they had it so that a proportion of the sales went rather than a once-off, I think that would make a lot more sense. That being said, I think the pallets themselves look quite pretty. I think particularly the fishy one, I like the look of that, but it looks like there's some like pressed glitters or something in there, which obviously isn't going to be for everyone, but that's the color story that I quite enjoy. I like the bird one because there's some greens. Now I could do with like the warmy brown tones, but in all, I don't think, like, these palettes look quite interesting and they are affordable. Obviously Shein, they're $7.50 each, so it's about €9 by the time it gets to here.
I'm gonna morph into Anna for a moment. There is a marbled shade in the leopard palette. I want that marbling on my eye, and if it won't do that, then why is the marbling there? Yeah.
Anyways, when I put it to you guys, 46% of you wanted them. Pat McGrath was teasing that she was coming out with something new this week, and everyone was like, oh, I wonder what it is, because there was talk about at one point that there might be a rainbow palette. Oh my lord, my loves, this is not it. This is another one of the motherships. I don't know how many she needs to go home, but this is I think sixth one or something. I can't even wrap my head around it. So there's apparently 6 different finishes in the eyeshadow palette, but there's also like some lip products in there as well. Look, I will also say, like, it's very expensive. I feel like this is just, I don't want to say a repackaging of what she has, but that she's taken shades from existing motherships and put them together in a sort of best of. Now that's what we call Pat McGrath 24. I would also say I'm not wildly keen on Pat McGrath after our girl Sarah L had a not so great experience with their customer service. And for a company that is selling luxury products that are very expensive, they really need to start looking in how to deal with their customers.
They were shocking, like their response were absolutely shocking. Like, and like you said, that this palette doesn't excite me. I don't look at it and go, wow, something new, I need to try it. Like, if our other mothership palettes didn't convince me to buy it, then this one isn't either. Like,
no, they're all very, I look at them all whenever I see one. I think they all look very, very similar. They'll have 1 or 2 shades in them that will make me go, oh, I really quite like the look of those, but never to the point that I would want to spend, I would want to remortgage my house to own it.
Yeah, it's kind of disappointing. You'd hope for a little bit more from her, particularly, with her background as a makeup artist. And again, when I put it to you guys, 62% of you said that it wasn't for you either. Speaking of not for me, we have Jaclyn Hill. Why am I talking about this brand like every week? It's not cheap enough to be fast makeup, but apparently this is what's happening. But it's all lip stuff, so it's lip scrub, lip treatments, that sort of thing. Now the lip scrub is $18. The Hydro Pout lip treatment is $20, and you can get the Prep Essentials kit for $29, which is, in my opinion, quite expensive.
It's a very expensive lip balm, and I've never understood lip scrubs personally. I just don't. Why? Just what's the point of them? I know what the point of them is, but what is the point of them? And I'm not spending 20 quid on a lip balm.
Especially not when you can buy stuff that's cheap, that does a good job. Like there is choice out there. It just seems like a really boring, like, yes, she's got lip products, therefore this is relating to the lips, and there's my little link. But why? Like, why would she bring this out? Like,
this would make more sense to come out in tandem with the lipsticks, rather than as a separate launch. I am also still of the opinion that she needs to not keep releasing things when she hasn't addressed the shock and shade range. That I think she's just kind of like putting things out and kind of being like, oh, distract, don't look. I mean, I personally don't get lip scrubs. I think it's one of those items that you kind of get thinking, I'm gonna start taking care of my lips, and I'm gonna be good, and I'm gonna use this, and I'm gonna use a nourishing lip oil, and blah blah. And then you do it for 3 days, and then you're like, meh, and you can't be bothered anymore. And then 6 months down the line, you're like, oh, here's the lips. Oh no. And
now it's got a hair in it.
yeah. And when I asked you guys, 92% of you said, no, it's boring. Then the next thing we have is Be Perfect, and they are doing a new collaboration, and this is with Zachary Vang. There are shapeshifter palettes. So there's the Define and Sculpt palette, and it has a couple of different shades in it. And then there is the Shapeshift and Color palette. That is coming out July 30th. So by the time this is up, you could potentially get it. So I think it's like you can combine the two, and it makes the face, because, you know, it's sort of like what Tentalia was trying to do with the Sydney Grace thing of like, oh, you put them together and they make a picture, beautiful jigsaw. I get a bit confused because, you know, I look at the face palette, you know, the contoury one, and I'm like, look at that nice shade range, the depth. I'm glad. However, what one person needs all of that, bar a makeup artist? I'm at that point now where I just don't understand, like, face contoury palettes. They don't really make sense to me. That being said, I look at the blush side, and that yellow, oh my god, I want to smear it all over my face, because a yellow blush is like something special. Although I will say it reminds me very much of the tone of yellow that was in their Manifest eyeshadow palette at Christmas. So I think you could actually dupe that out. I don't think it's a bad release at all. Like, we've seen some stuff from Be Perfect before in terms of their face products, and I've just kind of been like, oh lads, the inclusivity is not great. And I think here at least we're seeing some amount, like, or at least an attempt to be a bit more inclusive. It's just, I'm not really sure who this is marketed towards.
This is my thing. I think we've got to a state where brands need to decide, are they targeting their products to consumers and personal use, or are they targeting their products to makeup artists? Because I see that this would be really good for makeup artists. It's one palette, you've got lots of different shades there, like, it's nice, quick and easy. Wait, this is what I need. But I've kind of got to the position now where I'm like, I'm not going to spend money on a palette where I can only use 2 shades, not because I don't want to spend that money, but it's wasteful. And I think when brands release this sort of thing, they need to clarify who they're targeting this sort of thing to, because you've got Be Perfect with some of their products are on social media, marketed towards us lot, and then you've got this sort of thing coming out. However, I will say, I look at that yellow blush. 1, it's beautiful, and 2, all I think of is miss her.
Yeah.
Like, how? Yeah.
Oh, she would smear her body.
Oh yes.
When I asked you guys, 82% of you said meh, Vanity Makeup Collection, and this is the signature palette. I had so many messages on this saying, doesn't this look like the Tatty palette, but more kind of pared down? $95.
Nope.
I will also say that Katie tagged me in a video that was from this brand, and they were using some of their products, but it was pretty clear that there was a filter on the video.
Tart, is that you?
I mean, it comes back to what we were saying earlier, which was if you really do think the products are good, let the products speak for themselves. You don't need to put on beauty filters. We know that skin has texture. We know that people have blemishes. That's fine. I have loads here right now. And I think actually we need to have more movements of just having people accept their bodies and kind of be like, okay, I'm using highlight and it's showing up my texture because I'm not porcelain. My skin breathes and it does things. I think this is a lovely palette. Like, look, you know me, I'm not really into neutrals. It just ain't my thing. I did have a few people kind of saying, oh my God, it reminds me quite a bit of like an early Urban Decay. I can see that. It doesn't wildly offend me, but I think there is better out there. I think they did really well in terms of like their marketing pictures. Like it looks luxe. Like I look at that and kind of go, interesting. But $95. If it had been $35, then I'd have been like, yeah, that's worth getting. But
95 is silly.
when I put it to you guys, then 71% of you said that it wasn't for you either. Then we have Titmouse, who we've talked about many a time before on this channel. Titmouse has usually sold products from other brands as a sort of a way for us to gain access to lots of different like UK indie brands. But they're now coming out with their own products. Now they've had their own products in terms of like palette mixers, that sort of thing. But this time there are these little multi-chrome shadows. Each of them are named after a person that is important to the owner, Romy. So I think that's actually really sweet that that's kind of immortalized. So these are what they look like. There's Carol, there's Nemesis, there's Sonia, and then there's Eva. And they're coming out on Friday. So as this is up, you'll be able to get your little paws, your little mitts on them. But they're also coming out with eye toppers. So, and there are various codes that you can use for money off as well. I mean, do I need more multi-chromes? Absolutely not. But I'm looking at the shade Sonia and it's green and my little mind is like, nom, 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 nom.
And see, we've got so much choice now that I think I would rather support an indie brand when it comes to multi-chromes, and also a brand that, you know, is like kind of linked to, you know, like Missa and stuff like that. And if I was going to make the choice between one and another, I would probably go for this over some of the other stuff that we've seen.
Yep, same.
And again, when I put it to you guys, 86% of you said, I want them. And the very last thing that we're going to talk about in detail is from Etude House, and this is their mint chocolate collection. They have this mint chocolate ice cream palette, and all I can think of is the ColourPop quads that came out last week, and they actually had like a mint little quad in there, which was cheaper. I think it was $10. This is $19.32, and I will say, in my opinion, not as interesting as the ColourPop one. I do like that the minty shade has those speckles of brown in it because it mirrors what like the ice cream scoop actually looks like itself. But again, I'm like, what is that actually going to look like on the eye? Like when I do swatch that and the brown and the blue come together, is it going to be a weird grey colour when I put them together? So
I also don't get the shade selection. I get the minty blue colour. I get the deep brown mint chocolate chip. But then the rest are just like neutral colours that are thrown in there. Where's the matte blue? Where's like the, you know, like a deep blue for the crease? And it's not a mint palette. It's one shade.
I think they're focusing very much on the cone aspect and kind of going, stage of the cone.
Which, you know, is obviously the best bit.
Yeah.
It doesn't scream mint chocolate chip to me in any way, shape or form. Do you know, remember the elf mint collection?
Yes.
Yep.
That mint chocolate chip. No
Yes.
question. I looked at that palette and I have those, both the little ones that came out and the one with the chocolatey brown in. I look at it and start going, ice cream. I look at this and go, oh, it's sky blue. It's not, to me, it doesn't look particularly minty. Maybe it's the photo. To me, it doesn't look particularly minty.
It's just another time of it's been done before and it's been done better.
And again, when polling you guys, 19% of you said it was cute. But that's it in terms of the new makeup releases that we're going to talk about in depth. So that means we're on to the lightning round. We have a whole chunk of things from Makeup Revolution, including an electric fan, cosmetic tape, brow glue, an eyeshadow palette. And then from Revolution Glow, we have a whole chunk of tanning stuff. So there's a tanning mitt, brush, these tanning drops, mitts, mousses, all that sort of thing. The Lab Cosmetics then has the Flashpoint highlighter, and it is $20. Frickin' Fabulous Cosmetics has a duochrome eyeshadow palette for $89. Jouer have some bronze and glow bronzer and highlighter duos, so they're kind of multi-use creams, and they're available from August 3rd. Shadow Moon Cosmetics have some new neon UV lip glosses, and they're £5 each, or you can bundle all 5 for £20. Then we have Elf Cosmetics. They have their enhancing lash and brow serum, and that is available now. Black Moon Cosmetics have a collaboration with the Craft movie, so it includes some lipsticks, etc. Chaos Makeup have a new duochrome / multi-chrome. It goes from like a red, orange, purple, black. Game Beauty have their Victoria eyeshadow palette, and that is coming out on August the 2nd. Amo Cosmetics have the Surreal palette, and that is retailing for $56. Dior are releasing their Dior Forever Glow Cushion Foundation in a whopping 3 shades. Pound Lashes are coming out with some more lashes from the 30th of July. Kaima Cosmetics have some new multi-chromes that are coming out now. Glam Shop Poland have the new flower collection, so they have some blushes, some eyeshadow palettes. Then Good Molecules have their Gentle Retinol cream, that is $8, vegan and cruelty free. Fenty are coming out with a new eau de parfum, and that's coming soon to their website. Revlon have their Revlon by Meg Hot Girl Sunset collection, so there's a makeup pouch, eyeshadow palette, gloss, all that sort of thing. NARS then have their Basic Instincts Cheek Quad 1 and 2, they're $39 each, and then they have 2 different matte and glow mini lip duos for $24. Cleona Cosmetics are releasing 8 new bundles, and they're available now. Fatal Beauty are releasing their Pro Luxe Series Dream Foundation Brush. We then have Oma Cosmetics, and they have a new face palette. Indigenous Lashes are coming out with their Indigenous palette. It's $34.99 and is Indigenous owned. Beauty Paint have their new watercolor lip oils in 4 different shades, and they also have the Artist Saga palette, and that is available from July 23rd. Simply Posh Cosmetics are releasing the highlighters that we've seen 1,000 times before. They're $14 each, and they're also coming out with an adhesive eyeliner pen for $12. The Paris Lynn collection are coming out with the Limelight eyeshadow palette from July 31st. Beauty Blender have a new shade of sponge in lilac for a whopping $20. Sparkly's Glitter Gloss have 3 new classic glosses, and they are available now. QC Queen Cosmetics have 10 new lip glosses for $10 each. Bella Beauty Blog have 3 new liquid multichromes, and they also have 3 pressed hybrid multichrome shadow pots, and they are $19 for all of those. Bernovich have 2 different Galaxy eyeshadows. So there's green and there's pink, and they're $16 each. BH Cosmetics has come out with a new palette. It's $17, and it's the Amore in Amalfi palette. And in addition to that, they're also coming out with the Amore in Amalfi brush set. There's 7 eye brushes, and that is $18. Aether Beauty have their Moonlight Crystal Gemstone palette. That is available for pre-order for $58. Luxie Beauty have their Butterfly Kisses collection. They're 7 shades. You can bundle them together for $21, which saves you nothing because they're each $3. Liv Glam have the He Loves Me Not eyeshadow palette, and that is available now. We then have X&O Cosmetics, and they have their Pumpkin Spice palette and their Smoky palette. They're $27.99 each. Shop Rabbit Beauty have the Daydreamers eyeshadow palette for $20. Folly Fire are releasing their Good Vibes eyeshadow trio. They're $36 altogether. Alien Cosmetics have some new single eyeshadows. They are $10 each, with the exception of Void, which is $8. The Collective Cosmetics then have the Jewels by Midnight collection, 4 shades for $25. Ella Mila have the Coming in Haute, the Samba collection. It's $50 for the bundle, or $10.50 each. Zuko Official are releasing their fall collection, so there's some quads, there's some singles, blushes, lipsticks, polishes, all that sort of thing. Yukuna Glow have their Dreamtime eyeshadow palette available for $40. Le Moriso Cosmetics have the Amethyst Glow Wand. That's available from July 30th. Pout and Shout have their Happy-Go-Lucky Albatross. So there's 2 shades between $9.72 and $18.05. Shiseido have their Snow Beauty highlighter, and that is available for $70.61. Peachy Queen Cosmetics have their Anatomy eyeshadow palette. Flower Beauty have some new Stellar Prismatic highlighters in 3 different shades. Jules Cosmetics have a new blush palette that is available now. Face Glaze Beauty have a couple of different things. So they have 10 shifty pressed pigments ranging from $10 to $12. They also have the Summer Pastel Double Crumbs, and they are $10 each. They have the Reds collection, they are $10 each, and the Earth Tone collection, and they're $10 each, or you can bundle the 4 for $38. Essence have a couple of different 6-pan eyeshadow palettes. So they have Dancing Green, Ice Ice Baby, I'd Like to Mauve It, Bronzed This Way, Coral Me Maybe, and Taupe It Up, and they're $3.99 each. Geology Cosmetics have their Pilbara eyeshadow palette, and that is finally released now. Obsessed with Makeup have the Cut the Check eyeshadow palette, and that is available now for $34. We have Notoriously Morbid with 4 new liquid lipsticks that have a metallic finish. Angel Eyes Boutique have their Dedication Hour collection, so it includes an eyeshadow palette, sponges, mirrors, bag, and a lipstick. Inspired by Sigil, Tammy Tanuka have their Blue Flame eyeshadow set, and that is available now. We have Topicals, and they have 2 new body mists. One is Clearing and one is Soothing. Lorena Cosmetics have their La Mousy eyeshadow palette, and that is available now. Suva Beauty have their We Make Rainbows Jealous palette, and that is $35. 7 mattes, 1 iridescent topper shade. Expensive for what it is, in my opinion. Beauty Creations Cosmetics have the Lash Flex workout plan. So apparently they're lengthening, volumizing, thickening, water resistant, and jet black. Lollipop Cosmetics have the Kira Nice contour palette, and it's apparently inspired by Kakagurui, and it's $18 US. Foolish Hustle Lashes have a very odd palette. It's Scarface The World Is Yours eyeshadow palette, so apparently inspired by the movie. That's $28. And finally, we have the 90s Baby Cosmetics new Summer Camp eyeshadow palette, and that is retailing for $23 US. So that's it in terms of all the stuff that's actually out or is like imminently coming out. So we are now on to Sneaketh Peeketh. This monstrosity, which, let's face it, that's the only thing that we can call it, is from Violet Voss and the Care Bears. Right. Violet Voss has a palette like this. They actually called it their rainbow palette. So I feel like they have just taken those shades and popped it into new packaging, and like it used to be a long thin package, and now they've made it more into like a square, and I'm like, they've just jiggled things around.
It's like a running theme, isn't it? We've run out of ideas. Let's repackage.
Jiggled it around and stuck a beloved childhood character on the front, and all the 80s babies will buy it because they love Care Bears.
Foolproof plan.
I don't think the Care Bears would approve.
No. And they're a very approving bunch, but on this they
are.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's not a great one. And I did poll you guys on that. 65% of you said you know that Wet n Wild are coming out with a Saved by the Bell collection. I grew up with Saved by the Bell, and I mean there were so many problematic characters. Like one of the main characters was essentially a sociopath, if we're entirely honest. I'm very nervous as to what this is going to be and what this is. Like you can already kind of see the palette is like, oh, neutral and a pop of blue.
Yay! Because we've not had that before.
So now
I'm so excited.
you just can't hide it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, like this just fills me with terror. It seems a lot of you feel the same way. 85% of you said not for me, but what is for me? Possibly, don't know, because we've only gotten a black and white picture, but they have hinted, this is Beauty Bay, they have hinted that it's possibly a green palette, and oh my god, if they F this up, I'm going to be so... But I need it. I don't need it. I want it. Need and want are 2 separate constructs, Teresa. Anyways, this is a new palette. As of filming, we don't have a picture, so maybe I've got a new picture in the interim in editing. Good luck editing, Teresa. This is coming out Friday the 30th, so actually you're probably seeing a picture of it right now on your screen, you lucky bastards. But we don't know what it looks like. They have said that one of the shades is called Moss, which I'm like, I hope it is a mossy, but it does look like it's a shimmer. So I'm like, is it like a mossy, shimmery, grungy? I want it to be grungy, because they said we're going to leaf this here, so I'm hoping it's like grungy, leafy, earthy tones.
Yeah.
Foresty.
I have a lot of hopes, but I'm also very nervous, because anytime I ever put my hope into something, it all falls apart like wet pieces of cake. and I don't want wet cake. I want a green palette. So I'm excited but terrified.
Yeah, Beauty Bay. If you F this up, fear the wrath of Teresa. She's going to come in for you.
Well, I have a lot of feelings. Again, do I need more palettes? Absolutely not. No, I don't. But I will say, anything I've tried at Beauty Bay of their own palettes, my God, they are good. I've said it before, and I'll say it again, shocking customer service. Like, if they didn't do things at a relatively decent price and if they didn't have their own brand, I'd have done away with them a long time ago. I'd have stopped buying from them, but they get me with these. So actually, if somebody else could stock Beauty Bay stuff, that would actually be, I love the idea of that, like cult beauty stocking Beauty Bay. Like, it's just very meta, and I'm not against it. And it seems 88% of you are with me on this, and that you want it, even though we don't know what it is. So yeah. Then we have a Lucid Makeup, and they're coming out with a hydrating lip gloss in yellow, pink, and blue. Super essential. Yves Saint Laurent are showing us, that's right, their holiday collection, because it's the end of July, but we like to think Christmas. There is an innovative eyeshadow palette with 50 shades of beige and there's sort of a plummy colour in there for the sake of it. A limited edition cushion face powder, some lipsticks, and some lip balms, and they're coming out in Asia sometime in October.
I'm bored.
Yeah, I mean, we all are, really. And then Bobbi Brown have a new collection. I will say I like the packaging. It feels very like 70s, and I like that. And this is part of their fall 2021 collection, and that's going to be out in the Asian market in August 27th. I like the look. I like the highlighter looks really pretty, like in terms of like the embossing, but also it is like a marbled thing, so I'm like, what's that actually going to look like? It's also a very grey looking thing, but
yeah.
I don't hate it, but also like, what's going on? That's right, we have a super inclusive foundation range coming. This is Guerlain, and they're coming out with their Orchid Imperial cream foundation in 5 shades. Yeah,
That's awful.
But they do include a kabuki brush, so yeah. Now that's coming out in Japan in September. So I'm wondering if they're only catering towards like Japanese skin tones.
But even so, that's
yeah.
No.
And we then have a Blemish Co., which is a weird name for a cosmetics company, and they have some new lip glosses which are cruelty-free, vegan, and apparently moisturizing. Pink Crush Cosmetics then have their Hyper Chrome eyeshadow palette. Again, it's all duochrome all the time. And then they have some Chameleon Flakes, which, if I'm honest, the Chameleon Flakes is probably the thing that I'm most interested in. But I do worry about Chameleon Flakes because it kind of makes your eyelids look really, really textured. And then I'm kind of like, oh no, this doesn't look right on me. But I like the look of it. I don't hate it. Then Le Marisso Cosmetics is releasing their Blushsicles. That's a weird name. And in addition to that, they're also coming out with their Quad Phantom. There's 3 duochromes and 1 shimmer. Although from the swatch photos, they just look like they're all shimmers.
Yeah, there's no duochromeness there, is there?
No. Then Magical Makeup UK are giving us a sneak peek of some new pigments. Bad and Bruja Lashes, who are collaborating with Sour Times Shop, and they are coming out with a limited edition lemon-shaped sponge. Anissa Beauty, then it looks like they're going to come out with like some sort of a body brush. This is Touch of Glam Beauty, and this is their Lucid Lavender Budge-Proof Gel Eyeshadow Pot, coming sometime soon. But that's it, lads. That's the whole kit and caboodle. We have done all the makeup stuff. So you can go and have a lie down and think about what you want to spend your money on, because it's also payday for a few of us. Let's go and make some poor financial decisions. This is why I'll never own my own house. Somebody take care of me. But that's it. You know the general drill. Find Callie and Sarah on their socials below. Be nice, be friendly, be respectful, you know. Like, I hate that I have to say that, but, you know, sometimes people can be a bit based upon what we've seen this week. Do please like, comment, and subscribe to me on my channel, and turn on the notification bells, because you obviously want to see more of this hot mess, you know, and other hot messes, do please share, because sharing is caring, unless of course it's an STD, in which case, you know, wrap it up. That'd be gross. But that's it. That's the end of the video, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.